It's just insane how much power it gives you. This battery is on another level. I struggle to see how you could put much more power into a bike like this. Hold on for dear life! Oh! Sur-Rons are notorious for their speed and torque straight out of the box, but that only suffices for a certain amount of time before the rider gets bored and decides to do a couple of little upgrades to get even more power. For me personally, I started off with some of the cheaper upgrades like the sprocket, just to try and get that little bit more torque and a little bit more power out of the bike. But once I've become accustomed to that, I then looked at changing things like the controller. And that held my interest for a certain amount of time before I decided to go for some of the really big upgrades, such as the battery. Now, if you're subscribed to my channel, if you've seen any of my videos, you'll know that I upgraded to the Dominator V3 from Electron Cycles. That battery is a 72 volt 55 amp hour battery, and it completely transformed my bike to an absolute powerhouse. But today we are going one step further, and we're going to be changing up from the 72 volt battery up to an 81 volt battery. So without further ado, let's jump straight into a montage of the bike and the battery, and then I'll discuss a little bit more of exactly what we've got going on. So let's talk facts and figures about this battery. So the battery is the Trojan 81 volt 50 amp hour 50F battery from Electron Cycles. The thing is an absolute work of art. Fits onto the bike exactly like the 72 volt that I have from them. The biggest difference between that battery and this one is the connectors. With the Dominator V3 I was running the original stock power cables that come with the Sur-Ron. With this battery we've upgraded to the anti-spark QS8 connectors, which come as standard when you purchase a battery like this from Electron Cycles. Now if you're coming up from a stock battery to one of these bigger batteries, there are a few little adjustments you need to make with regards to the battery lid. Because the battery sits a lot higher, you will need some small extenders that go on the front hinges of the battery lid, and a battery lid extender that goes on the back of it, just so the battery still latches down and keeps everything nice and neat and tidy. Again, this all comes part of the package when you purchase from Electron Cycles. And I will come back to this subject after we've discussed the battery, because they've made some slight changes to the lift extension kit, which I think is a massive improvement. So I'll talk about that a little bit later on in the video. But for the moment, let's talk about the battery, the facts, the figures, and what you can expect in the real world if you're running one of these batteries. So 81 volts, 50 amp hours. This gives you a total of 4,070 watt hours, which in layman's terms is an insane amount of power. The cells they use in this battery are the Samsung 50S cells, which are extremely high quality, and they have a really high discharge rate, which again really helps with the power. And then this is where it gets really clever. So the more volts you have, the higher the RPM. So just for an example, a 72 volt running at 200 amps will give you around 14 kilowatt. An 81 volt at 200 amps would give you around 16 kilowatts. So if I wanted to run this, say at 14 kilowatts to match that 72 volt output, I would only need to run 178 amps rather than the 200. So I'm getting the same amount of power, but with less amps. And what all of this means combined is the battery makes the bike run so much more efficiently, but the power and the delivery is absolutely insane. The thing, oh my god, I'm not going to stop in time. The bike has turned into an absolute hyperbike. I can't even put into words, it absolutely terrifies me. My 72 volt Dominator V3 battery takes my breath away every single time I go out on this bike. But this battery is on another level. I'm really finding it hard to put into words how astronomically fast this thing is. The acceleration, the torque, it is just like nothing I can't see how anything could be faster than this. Now I know there's much faster bikes out there, and I know there's bigger batteries out there, but I struggle to see how you could put much more power into a bike like this. I just can't keep the front wheel down, and it pushes everything back. I have to hold on for dear life. Oh! Jeez! Oh my god! My helmet is being pushed back. Trying to it literally feels like my helmet's going to be ripped off the top of my head. Unbelievable. Now the battery runs best around the 14 to 16 kilowatts, but bursts up to sort of 22 to 24 kilowatts and sitting at 40 mile an hour now. Oh my it's just insane how much power it gives you. Oh my days. Oh, I'm lost for words. I hope it comes out on camera. So in the background I'm running a couple of apps because as much as I love this BTB controller, I just cannot seem to calibrate the speed on here. So I'm running a GPS speedo on my phone as well as Strava because they're the most two accurate apps that I can find. And we'll look after this ride, we'll have a look back and just see what sort of top speed we're getting. Now I did actually take this out. Let's race him. Oh no, we've done it again. I've just pinned the throttle trying to race that car, and I felt something touch the back of my leg. I couldn't work out what it is, but I've lost yet another L plate off the back of the bike. I'm losing L plates every time I go out riding. I'm gonna have to invest in some metal plates or something because they just can't handle the speed. But talking about obviously the sheer speed of this thing, yeah, undeniably it is extremely fast. But one of the other major things that I've noticed about this battery is the range. Now like I was saying earlier, there are a couple of little modifications you need to do to make one of these batteries fit. So you have the two brackets on the front, the little Y-shaped pieces. Now previously these were made of plastic. I never really had too many issues with them. I did end up snapping one of them on one occasion when I was riding my off-road Sur-Ron on a track. I gave the bike a huge amount of punishment that day and broke mud guards and all sorts off the bike, so they can withstand a huge amount of punishment. Now Electron Cycles have now developed these metal risers which are going to be so much stronger, so I don't think we're going to have any issues with those whatsoever. The other really nice touch I like as well is the extender at the back of the lid, and I'll jump to a quick clip now of when I was actually installing the battery. Got that nice sort of carbon effect on there as well. So yeah, two huge improvements in my eyes, and it's one of the reasons why I'd always go to Electron Cycles for my batteries. They're always developing. So for now, I'm just going to take this out, rack up some miles on it. Let's get some data on these apps. Let's see what our top speed can be. Let's see what our average speed is going to be. Let's see what sort of range we can get. And I will see you back on the tripod to give you my summary. Let's go.
You wanna On this run, I covered a total distance of just over 27 miles. And when I got back, I still had 51% of the battery left. That means I only used 49%. So if I'd used the whole battery, I could have achieved around 55 miles of range on this ride. But what we've got to bear in mind is I was doing an average speed of 37.8 mile an hour. So I definitely wasn't taking it easy. Now if you were to put this into like a real world scenario, when on a group ride or your average ride, you're doing around 15 to 20 mile an hour. So you can improve the range by about 60 to 80%. So basically if I was to fully charge the battery and go out for a ride and average around 15 to 20 mile an hour, you could expect anywhere from about an 85 to 90 mile an hour range on a single charge. That is insane. Now I've seen one of the biggest stats we have to look at is the top speed. 84.9 mile an hour. It's basically just call it 85. 85 mile an hour on a Sur-Ron is insane. But I do think with a little bit more tuning and possibly changing over the sprocket, this could be a 90 mile an hour bike. So overall, I am seriously impressed with this Trojan battery from Electron Cycles. If you're looking to upgrade your Surron or Talaria with some serious power, then this is definitely the way to go. Right now, the battery is priced at £2,299, but that includes the battery, the charger, the lid lift kit, and the QS8 connectors. Basically, everything you need to push your bike to the next level. And if you use my code SouthCoastSR at the checkout, you'll save yourself £75 off your order. So I'll go ahead and drop the link in the description for Electron Cycles and exactly where you can get this battery. I'll also put a link to their social media pages as well, so make sure you go ahead and give them a follow. So as always, thank you ever so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. A massive shout out to Electron Cycles. Make sure you go and follow them, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.